Okay, in this last video we're going to finish out the presentation, and we're going to start off with looking at a cash out refinance. So this is getting a loan not necessarily to lower the interest rate, but to pull out cash from the equity that an owner has built up in the property. So we're going to assume here that we're dealing in the commercial world. We purchased a property 5 years ago for $1.25 million, and we got a 70% loan to value loan with a 20-year amortization and an interest rate of 6%. The property has grown in value. It's appreciated by 5% each year over the past 5 years. And we want to know a few things. What is the current value of the property? What is the current loan balance on the property? And that will tell us what is the current loan to value. Now, assuming that the owner puts a new 70% loan to value loan on this property, now with a 15-year term and a 6% interest rate, how much cash will the owner receive? So how much cash will they get with this cash out refinance? So let's look at Excel. So the first thing I'm going to do here is figure out how much the loan has been paid down to. So our original loan, we're told the property was $1.25 million, and we got a 70% loan to value. So I'm going to multiply the 70% or 0.7 times the property value at the time, $1.25 million. And so they got a loan for $875,000 for 20 years, and the interest rate was 6% per year. So there's the periodic payments. And now to figure out after 5 years what the balance is, we're going to solve for the future value. Again, after 5 years, the interest rate, there's the payment. So we come up with this number. Now the question is, what is the current loan to value? Well, we need to look at the value, and this is simply a future value function. I'm growing the property's value by 5% per year for 5 years, and so I come up with about $1.6 million here. I look at the loan divided by the value, right? That's what a loan to value is. And so I get 46% here, 46.56%. The borrower wants to take it back up to in this question, it was a 70% loan to value. And so the new loan is going to be 70% of the current value. That's what we're going to be able to do when we go to the bank. We can get this new loan. We're going to pay off our existing loan of $742, and so our cash out refinance is going to give us proceeds of $373,000. So that is what a cash out refinance is. You're replacing your loan. In this case, not just getting a loan for the exact same amount that you owe, but getting really a new, bigger loan where you can pull money out. So that is a cash out refinance. Let's go back to the slides and see where else we need to go here. A couple of alternative ways of evaluating a refinance is to look at the effective cost, or we can look at a situation where we borrow the refinancing costs and see what the results tell us. So let's first look at the effective cost of a refinance. What we're going to do here is similar to what we did with the fixed rate chapter, where we tack in or take into account the fees that we're paying. We reduce the proceeds and we find out what the effective cost of our regularly scheduled payments is. So let's go back to Excel and look at this example here real quick. So recall that with the refinance or refinance example we've been looking at in the past, we had paid down the loan balance to $184. We're refinancing it, and we're getting this all for a payment of $950.74. Now, the way that the effective cost works is that we're going to get the loan proceeds, but we're also paying a fee, and that's what's going on with this formula here. We get the money from the bank of $184,900, but we're paying the bank $3,274. So in effect, we're only getting $181,647. But we do have to make these payments over the 25 years, and so what we do is we solve for the rate, annualize it, and we come up with an effective interest rate over those 25 years of 3.92% per year. Now, because that's still much cheaper than our existing loan, we're going to refinance. And with the borrowing the financing costs, that's what's going on here, is that here's the amount of money that we need to pay off that existing loan, and then we're going to add to that how much money that we are paying in fees. So we're going to borrow the fees and see how much that would cost us if we did that. So we find out our new payment is $967.57. That's still much lower than the $1135 that we had before. So again, this all says that we should be refinancing. All right, let's go to the last slide here. and look at the effective cost of 2 or more loans. So this is closely related to the calculation of incremental borrowing costs and how we go about that. So the situation here is we've got one loan, perhaps we got a new loan or we assumed a loan, but it's not quite enough money. We don't have enough to cover the purchase price between our equity and the one loan that we have, so we're going to need to get a second loan involved. So as an example, you assume a loan, and by the way, assumption means that we're stepping into somebody else's shoes, we're taking over their loan. So we assume a loan for $65,000 on a property worth $120,000. By the way, that means we still have to come up with $55,000. We only have $20,000 in equity, so we need an additional loan of $35,000 to cover the difference. So how do we figure out the effective cost when we have more than one piece of financing involved here? So again, let's go to the spreadsheet to wrap this thing up. We're going to go to this last tab and I'll talk through calculations here. So with a $65,000 loan, let's assume that it's a 4% interest rate over the next 25 years. You guys know how to compute all this stuff and get the payment. Let's assume that that next piece, the $35,000 loan, has a higher interest rate, 8%, again over 25 years. And here is our cash flows for that. We're going to be making in particular a $270 payment. So in terms of getting the effective cost, I can just add up my two loan amounts, I can add up my two payments, and then solve for the interest rate that makes that time value math work. And I get a 5.49% interest rate. And I do want to make a quick note here that's not the same, it's not equal to just a simple weighted average, right, of the 65,000 and 4%, 35,000 and 8%. You should be able to do a weighted average blend of that. It's close. I think it turns out to be 5.40% with a weighted average. So it's a little bit different, not quite the same. So this is the accurate way to go about determining the effective cost when we are combining loans. We would just add up all the principal amounts, add up all the payments, and then solve for the rate. So that is all of the chapter that I want you to focus on, and we will pick up with single-family housing in the next set of videos, and I will see you then.